Hey, how's it going, everybody? Dave Huckins here with the slightly informed opinions of Dave, the Weedcast, with another exciting episode. We got Jeff the Farmer on deck. Also, backstage, we've got Michael and Elizabeth Rose LaRue, his beautiful sidekick. Um, this week is going to be an interesting show. We're going to talk about Jeff the Farmer and his farm, and we're going to talk about addiction and recovery and loss. There's going to be a lot of stuff that we're going to dive into. Before we do that, I want to remind everybody that don't believe anything I say. Don't believe anything my co-hosts say. Don't believe anything my guests say. Do your own research, because we're only slightly informed here. It would be ridiculous for you to take any advice from this show. Okay, with that bit of business out of the way, let me bring on my amazing co-hosts, Michael and Elizabeth LaRue from Bipolar Farms.
Hey, thanks for having us. Those phone calls are really paying off. Those phone calls are really paying off. Good. How about you?
I'm good. So, just to clear the air, we had Michael and Elizabeth on a couple weeks ago as guests, and I like to have my guests on and then have them back as co-hosts. Honestly, the reason they came on as guests is because they totally were stalking me and bothering me all the time about coming on as a guest, right? And then I had them on as a guest, and then they actually started stalking me in real life. They started showing up at things I was doing in public. Now I got to have them on the show again to try and get rid of them again.
Well,
Come on, guys, it's enough.
It's easier to whisper a threat in somebody's ear person to person. It's real personal.
Yeah,
it means a lot more, yeah. Your toothbrush is yellow.
So, Michael and Elizabeth did something very touching. I was a speaker at the Kansas City Normal. That's where Jeff the Farmer and I met this last Friday. And they drove almost 2 hours from out of town to come just to see me speak. I was very touched by that. That was amazing. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you. You've supported us from the beginning, and we've grown fond of you. You've grown on us.
Really? Like a wart or?
More like toe fungus. Toe fungus is what I was
fungus?
thinking.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So.
But you're there.
I did not get your contact information in time to make a little slide for you. Would you like to share with people how they can get in touch with you if they like to?
So Facebook is just Bipolar Farms. We have a second page as well, just in case. What do we have that on? I don't remember the name on there.
We're pretty easy to find. We're
Bipolar Farms. So if you search on Facebook, and then bipolar.farms is our Instagram.
Okay, right on. I'm really glad you guys are back on the show. You guys are really great members of the community. It's fun having you on. So with that out of the way, let's talk about Jeff the Farmer. Jeff the Farmer is our guest today, and without further ado, let's see if he would like to make an appearance on the show as well.
Hello.
Jeff the Farmer. Hey.
Yes, sir.
It looks really smoky over there where you're at for some reason. What's going on there, Jeff the Farmer?
It should clear up. It'll clear up here a little bit. So yeah, I'm a creature of habit. I only smoke backwoods.
Really?
It's very, very rare I smoke anything else. I'm definitely a real creature of habit.
I'm the same way, but with me, it's Philly's chocolate blunts.
You need to go with the natural leaf. Get rid of that glue.
I guess, I started sniffing glue when I was young in preschool, and, that rubber cement, maybe, it goes back
it's
to
better
my
for you than that. Yeah, it's probably a lot better for you than that.
It shows. I mean.
So, Jeff the Farmer, would you like to tell people how they might be able to get in touch with you if they would like to do so?
Yeah, it's Facebook is Shady Frase Farm, just like it reads right there. And my Instagram, I got a couple of different Instagrams off of Shady Frase Farm, Jeff the Farmer 7, and I got another one, Pink Dot the Pig. So that one, anyway, if anybody wants to check out some cool videos of I had a pig pink that was the only one that made it out of her litter, and so we bottle fed her, kept her in the house, and so anyway, she got her own Instagram page.
That's
Nice.
cool.
Yeah.
I did want to mention before we move on to other things really quickly. Gosh darn, I keep putting the same thing up.
That's a good one. That's my son there next to me.
Michael and okay. I was going to
That's a
ask
cool
about
picture.
the picture.
Yeah, that's my son Reed. He's 25. He's my best friend on this earth.
He was at the event with you
it.
there at the normal event, wasn't he?
He was. Yep. He's the absolute epitome of a soulmate. That kid. That's
got
the
him
one.
with it.
I got another son too, Joel. That's 23. I got really amazing kids somehow in spite of me. It's a miracle. But no, they're awesome. Me and my younger one actually played in this pickleball league last night. So yeah, they both live out here. It's good to be around them.
That's awesome, man. It's good to know.
Yeah, my computer's not cooperating. All of a sudden, we're trying.
You're
to
doing
get
good. I'm seeing it. Yeah, you're doing good. I see it. I see the Shady Frase Farm and Jeff the Farmer 7.
Right. I was trying to bring up this other thing about Michael and Elizabeth LaRue. They're trying to get some money. They're trying to get some donations to provide turkeys for people and Thanksgiving dinners for people this Thanksgiving. So if you're interested in donating a little bit to that, there's a couple ways you can do that right there on the screen. They would appreciate that. Oh, we got a comment already. Dawn is stopping in to show her love. Thank you for that, John.
We love you, Don.
Yeah, we appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.
For sure, Mama Dawn.
Okay, so I guess we got a couple pieces of business to take care of before we get into the interview. The first one is I'm going to sing the theme song, and I'm sure you guys are. I don't know if you're ready for that mentally, but you should try and prepare yourselves.
Stay strong, brothers.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
It's the Slightly Informed Opinions of Dave, the Weedcast. It's super low budget, and I don't have a band. I'll just make the instrument sounds with my mouth and my hands. There's going to be exciting guests and an outrageous co-host. You will find out that this show is the most. I'm gonna do my own thing. It's gonna be super cool. We're gonna have a good time. And if you don't like it, you can respectfully disagree. I'm just kidding. You can suck it. Okay.
I like it.
Let's go. Let's go.
Look for that climb in iHeartRadio.
I was singing it really, really out of tune at the beginning. I was looking at Elizabeth's face, and she was like, "Oh my God, is this happening?" That was so much fun. Yeah, right.
Because Elizabeth's always the voice of reason everywhere.
Another thing I want to do right quick. Let me get my. Okay, so the next thing is, hey everybody, I have some exciting news. I am proud to announce our first ever sponsor of the Slightly Informed Opinions of Dave the Weedcast. It's Canna Law Group. When you're navigating the cannabis industry, you need more than just a lawyer. You need a partner who gets it. I've seen firsthand how their team provides clear, straightforward advice on everything from licensing to compliance and general business needs. They're not just about the law, they're about helping Idle and I build our business the right way. If you're a micro business owner, a cultivator, or anyone needing legal guidance in this industry, I can't recommend them enough. They're the team that I trust to help me stay on the right side of things. You can learn more at Canna Law Group, that's CANNALAW group.com. Tell them the Weedcast sent you, and they'll give you a 100% free initial consultation, a 50,000 watt toaster oven, and a Lambo while supplies last. Offer not valid in any U.S. state or territory. Okay, all right, so on with the show. Farmer Jeff, now it's all about you, brother. Are you ready for the grilling of a lifetime?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay, so I'm going to start you off the way I ever start off every show, pretty much. Tell us about your first cannabis experience. What are you comfortable sharing?
The whole thing, the whole thing. So, yeah, I grew up like, extremely religious family, and cannabis is evil type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't smoke through high school. But I can remember my first time, like yesterday. It was the summer, actually, my freshman year of college too. I was playing baseball, and they had, random drug tests and stuff. So I didn't smoke my freshman year of college even either. So it was the summer after my freshman year of college. I was 19 years old, and I was working during the summer before I went back for baseball at a cleaners, like a dry cleaner press type of place in Overland Park, Kansas.
No.
And my coworker was just a really cool guy, and his father was actually military, and strict as well. But he, was always talking about it at work. And finally, one day, I was just like, you know what? I don't know what I'm really waiting for. And so I went over to his house, and like a lot of people say, you may not get high your first time you smoke. Like, have we
Yeah.
all heard that one, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
So we smoked like a whole, pretty nice sized joint. I really wasn't feeling much. And then we smoked another one, and I felt it. I mean, I was high. And, and that was it for me. Like, I never stopped after that. And
Okay.
my sophomore year of college, I still played baseball again. But early on in the year, my roommate got tested and failed, and he found out that your first test, if you fail, they don't tell anybody. And so
Oh.
I wasn't even worried about it anymore after that, and I never did get tested. So that's that story.
Let's see. Oh, one of our longtime listeners, Lisa. Hello, everybody. She'll have to rewind and catch up. Don't worry, Lisa. We're just getting started. That was my first traditional question. You did miss me endorsing a new sponsor for the show, Canna Law Group.
That's going to be on a billboard. I see that on a billboard.
It should be. It should be.
Yeah.
I
Just
should
like
do
that.
the
Get a
commercial
ring to
for it.
it. It's got a good little ring to it.
It
Right?
does.
Okay.
It rolls
Right
down the
on.
tongue nicely.
If you
You have
guys
a
are in need of professional legal advice, I can't recommend them highly enough. They've really done me right.
That's good. That's good to know. I mean, it's always good to have a honest referral, and it's hard to navigate rolling out new industry we have.
Right. Lisa is trying to get the most comments in one night by saying a lot of nice things, because then I'll put them up on the screen.
I like the way you're thinking. I like the way she's thinking.
Yeah,
Right?
we got a prize. We need a prize.
Right. I know. I should. If anybody wants to sponsor me by giving me free stuff that I can give away to the audience, I'd love to have that. Let's kick that off. Okay. So next question. Let's see now. Give me just a minute.
You know, yeah, I mean, sure.
Let's
Take your
see.
time. Take your time.
So, after your first experience, how did your relationship with cannabis evolve over time? You said you were like full steam ahead. You were full on in love with Lady Jane, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
how did it go from there?
So after that, I played 4 years of college baseball. Smoked all during that experience and time. And then, I mean, all over the state of Kansas, in situations I probably shouldn't have been in, because Kansas is a crazy state, as you already know. But
We've all been
Yep.
there.
anyway,
Yep.
so, but I would say one thing about it that, now looking back, like, we'll get into this a little more later about my addiction, but man, from the very beginning, like, weed just saved me from drinking too much. Like, or if I had drank too much, like, ending it there, then and there, you know what I'm saying? And so I remember from the very, playing college baseball and everything, just during that whole time period, it really began as that for me. So I think I kind of always understood a little bit of the medicinal part of it, maybe not as much now, obviously, but in a way, if that makes sense.
It does. Okay. All right. I've tortured everybody enough. Okay, so before becoming Jeff the Farmer, did you ever think about pursuing a career or a passion that was directly related to cannabis?
Oh no, is that we doing the question that's on the
Uh-oh.
screen?
Yeah, I'm trying to get the question on the screen. It's just not cooperating.
All right, that's all right. This one says, can you share a story about a time when cannabis went from being just a
Okay, yeah,
recreational
we'll do that.
substance to something more meaningful?
Sure.
So definitely on that one. So I would say like around. Yes, we're back. We're back.
I'm not allowed to touch things anymore.
Get this out.
I was trying to read the comment that the question. Never mind. Yeah, if you're doing a great job, I'm over here screwing things up for you, buddy. I'm sorry, man.
No, it's
Man,
okay.
you're
It's
good.
okay. You're
You're
good.
good, buddy. Um, so I would say like around mid 20s range is when my alcoholism started getting pretty bad. And by 30, I mean, I was a fifth and a half a day drinker and just a extremely high functioning alcoholic. And I coached for 25 years, worked for five different school districts. Like, I did lessons, I did all these different things, and I, never had any issues whatsoever with it. But it was, obviously killing me physically. But throughout that whole time period, like weed completely saved my ass. Like saved my ass. Like just times when it just brought me back to where I needed to be. Times when, like I said, it just kept me from going even deeper. I think without it, I would have drank myself. I believe I would have drank myself to death without it. I do believe that. So, I mean, I think God, whatever everybody wants to call it, but I think that as well. But definitely for putting that here for us, for putting that here for me, because I would have drank myself to death without it. I do believe so. I'm thankful for it. So much.
Did you have a relationship with the cannabis community at that time in Missouri before you started the farm?
So the beginning of that, I mean, do you want me to? I don't know. I can't remember what the next one was. Should you want me to talk about the beginning of like the cannabis community or the beginning of the farm yet? I'll just talk. So we'll go back to like the reason for the farm and
We'll
all
get to
that.
the farm. We'll get
Gotcha.
that.
So as far as the cannabis community,
we'll come back to that.
when I had very first started the farm, a friend of mine from high school came over. That was kind of involved and just said this would be a nice spot for a consumption, outdoor consumption area. And so that's kind of where the idea started.
Okay.
And then, I had already, by that time though, I had already like named it shit. I had the farm and everything going for probably a couple months range. And so shortly after that, we had our first event. And then I went to an event in Southwest Missouri, and that's where I just met like a lot of people. Me and two of the other guys, my son and another neighbor that built the farm together, went to it, and we had, yep, Reed, yeah, you met him, and we had a box of T-shirts, and sat at a booth with a box of T-shirts, and just talked to people. Oh, we had some hats too. They were rough ones. They were rough hats, but anyway, we had a box of T-shirts and some hats that we sold a few of, and just met a lot of people, and then ended up being in the with the Evolution magazine very shortly after that came out, and they did a story on the farm and stuff, and that's kind of where it started.
Victoria, I'm sorry, I can't see your last name well enough to pronounce it, but said cannabis can be a huge help for mental health and addiction.
Absolutely.
And our good friend Lisa says that she used cannabis to help her get off of other stuff. That's a common theme that I hear. I love it when I hear about people talking about being Cali sober. Hey, September is Suicide Awareness Month, Suicide Prevention, Suicide Awareness Month. So shout out if anybody ever wants to call me, especially veterans with PTSD, and you think that there's nobody out there that cares, you're wrong. I do. Call me.
Same here.
Same.
573-818-9985. You can call me 24 hours a day. Call me.
I tell
22
everybody,
veterans a day committing suicide. If you can't include the number of veterans that are also dying from overdoses, it's double that. So,
unfortunately, when you pass away and overdoses on there, it's a suicide, and that's a hard aspect for a lot of people. That was a surprise to me. Whenever I got my mom's death certificate and it said suicide from drinking, I was like, "There's been some kind of mistake or something," you know. So, a lot of families are surprised when that happens. I was one of those families at one point.
Jeff, can you share a story about a time when
We
cannabis
just
went
did
from
that.
being? Oh, did we? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Sorry.
That's all right. We're rolling. We're rolling. We're doing good, man. We
Oh, we
did
talked
that
about
one.
that too. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, okay. Here we go. Now we're getting into it. What role, if any, did cannabis play in your life and your sister's life around the time she passed? You want me to throw up that picture?
Yeah,
Your
let's throw up
sister?
the picture. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
That's my
Okay. So here's.
sister.
She's beautiful.
She is
Thank
beautiful.
you. Thank you. That's my sister, and her name
Oh.
Elizabeth. Her name was actually Stephanie Elizabeth Frase. Elizabeth.
Okay.
So that's kind of cool. You got the same name, but yeah, that's my
Yeah.
sister.
Nice.
And so, yeah, I'll just go ahead and I'll tell her story right now on this question.
Okay. Go ahead.
So, she's my only sibling. We're less than 2 years apart, so we grew up really close.
You're the
All
older.
the way through. I'm a year and a half older than her,
Okay.
and yeah, so I was her older brother, and we grew up really close all through life. I mean, and then we both started smoking at the same time. So when when I was 19, she was smoking around the same time. So we started that at the same time, pretty much. She got married. We both got married. I had 2 kids. She had 3,
Hmm.
and then we both got divorced around the same time as well. And that was, something that was a rough one that we kind of went through together because we didn't have a lot of support necessarily, and it was definitely looked at, as not the right thing to do by a lot of family and stuff. I feel like at the time, who have since changed their minds when I think they saw, how much better we were at the time after for a while. But anyway, we just went through a lot together. And at about the age of, it was actually really late for her, about the age of 35, she was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia.
Did you
And
see it before that point? Did you see that, that was happening, or that she just was diagnosed at that, like it came on all at once? How did that happen?
yeah, it was pretty quick. It really was pretty
Huh.
quick. Like I said, she
Really?
had 3 kids. We actually worked at a job together doing sales.
no.
She was excellent at that. But it just started. Yeah, it really came on pretty quick, for
Do you
sure.
know the cause? What did they know?
They don't know for sure. With the
Weird.
paranoid schizophrenia,
I
there's
did
just
not
so
know
many.
this stuff.
Yeah, there's so many
Huh.
different things it could be.
Huh.
She
Okay.
sustained a head injury,
Okay.
around the time where it started getting bad.
Mhm.
And then another one I think it could have possibly been because like these psychotropics, like they'll prescribe them for things that aren't even for mental health. Like she had like a twitch in her eye,
Mhm.
and that was what they prescribed her for. It was a pretty heavy psychotropic, and it did help her eye, but it gave her all the other stuff that went with it. The weight gain and the tired all the time, and these different
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think it was probably about a couple years she took it for, and then she just had enough, and she quit taking that cold turkey, which you're not really supposed to do either.
Right.
So I'm not sure if that had something to do with it as well or not. But like once it started, it was just a 5-year roller coaster ride, and there was some great times. When my sister was on her wild shit, I still loved being around her like that. Like we would ride around and smoke, and she was on some wild shit sometimes with it. If you known somebody with paranoid schizophrenia, it can be a wild ride.
Sure.
And it's not
Yeah.
always bad. Like, it's not always bad. Like, we had some of our best times ever together during that time period.
Hmm.
And, we still smoked. But that's one thing, like, those last 5, like, she just didn't understand. She never understood that anything was wrong with her. That was one thing I want to really, like, you know, reiterate. Like, she did not understand anything was wrong with her at all. Like, all these thoughts and, situations and paranoid things, like, it was all 100% real to her.
Mhm.
So that part was tough because it was really hard to get her to go in and try to get any kind of help.
Sure. Yeah.
Which with that, on a lighter note, I mean, y'all remember that Public Enemy song, 911 is a joke in your
Yeah.
town?
Yeah.
All right. Mental health probably is too. Mental health probably is
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Like, it's
Yes.
just the help you can get. And we were in Kansas.
Yeah.
And like, if you could get her to go to an appointment, like, you were going with her, like, it was happening. And I went to quite a few of them with her. Sorry, my lights turned on out there. And, it was just, it's so cold. I'll call it that. It's so cold the way that they treat people, and it feels like experimentation almost sometimes. So anyway, they started her back on the medication route a little bit. But the whole time, we went through all this stuff. She was never suicidal. And towards the end, she, like I said, some crazy stuff would happen sometimes, and she got taken down by like 6 cops kind of in a rage, and they had her in Osawatomie involuntary. So, they like, she couldn't get out, until they let her. And we all were kind of breathed a sigh of relief because we thought, finally, her daughter even went out there and stayed with her. And if anybody knows what Osawatomie is like, it's known for not being a nice place at all. So they're definitely known for just not being a nice place. So anyway, her daughter went and stayed out there with her for a few days, and they told her daughter when she left that they were going to keep her, get her regulated on the meds. And like 3 days later, they called my parents to come get her and said she was fine to go. And whatever medication it was they put her on that last time, I honestly can't remember the name of it anymore. But at that point, she became suicidal.
Well,
And she had like Zoom meetings with counselor, and was telling him that this was making her feel that way. It was making her feel like she wanted to kill herself. And they told her if she got off of it, she'd have to go back to Osawatomie and get reevaluated. She just wasn't having that.
Is that
It's a mental health facility in Kansas.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I should have said that. But yeah, if you've been in that field or know about these things in Kansas, like, it's definitely, after this happened, I came to know that it's known for just being not, like I said, just not a good place. Like, a lot of things like this happen. So anyway, she was telling, she got back home to my parents. She was telling them that it was making her feel this way. And I kind of wanted to get a little bit more into it here because I feel like it's, we can all handle it here. But anyway, 2 weeks later, she went into her ex-husband's apartment. Her 17-year-old son was there, and she went into the room and somehow got into the safe. I'm not sure on that one. And she did it with her 17-year-old son in the next room.
Oh my God.
Got the gun out of the safe and did it. So it was just, it was a very traumatic one. That I know it was that medication. It just, something kind of snapped there at the end. So that's that story. Now, to relate it to cannabis, if I could, absolutely, we can never go back and do these things again, right? But if I could, I would have taken her to Colorado. I would have got her going with, a holistic person out there and on heavy doses of THC and probably even psilocybin and some different things. And it just, I just didn't really, like I said, it happened so fast. And when you don't have the knowledge and don't know what to do, and you're just scared and scrambling as a family and different things like that. And when you got parents who absolutely, don't believe in that, it doesn't help a lot either. So that was another part that I think a lot of us have probably dealt with. So yeah, that was a situation there. If I could go back and do it again, that's what I would have done.
I would like to interject at this point that a lot of medications that are supposed to prevent suicide, one of the long-term side effects of use of these drugs, Prozac, for example, is suicide.
Yeah.
You could read it in the frickin' and what the literature that they give you when they give you the medication. It's like a 50-page thing, right? Read it. One of the side effects could be suicide from long-term use. So
I
that doesn't surprise me that they gave her something and that it didn't go well. I mean, that can happen.
I had a very close one person to me overdose on Wellbutrin. My 25-year-old son actually committed suicide with Wellbutrin, and I watched him flatline 4 times. And the doctor told me at that time if I took one of those pills as a healthy person, the neuron fire in my brain would still be affected a year later from one pill,
Wow.
one time.
They
That
had
the
me.
neurons in the firing system in my brain would still be affected.
They had me on Wellbutrin from like 19 to 22 off and on. You know what for?
Hmm.
Freaking ADHD.
Right, there's something similar
Like
in
it's so,
my son's case. Yeah,
like, and then I think you might have actually met my old roommate Jeff possibly,
yeah, I
but
think so.
his brother, PTSD veteran, he committed suicide off Wellbutrin.
Oh man, it's
Same thing.
great. That's a wide net that they cast with that one. So Jeff, can you tell us about when and why and how Shady Frase actually came to be? How the memorial farm and all that kind of the moment it all kind of tied together.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it's September Suicide Awareness Month, and all this stuff that I'm doing again. It's kind of crazy because my sister actually passed on September 16th of 2020,
Oh,
Okay,
and
yeah.
so April 21st of 2021, I moved into the farmhouse. And I want to say real quick too, something me and Michael talked about. One thing I want everybody to know, 1000%, like when people that you love's physical bodies leave, like trust me, they do not die. I promise you, I know for sure at this point in my life, they are not gone. They're not gone. You just got to look in different places. And so anyway, I started Snapchatting my sister as soon as after she passed. I still do to this day. But me and my son were living in my uncle's house and we couldn't find a place, right? And I was on the home snap for the one that, to look for him every day with my real estate agent. And this house kept coming up. But it looked like there was just a privacy fence in the backyard and that was it. So it looked real small, just nothing special. It was a nice house, but nothing special enough. And so I Snapchatted my sister. I'm like, Steph, I need a sign. Me and Reed got to get out of here. I got to find a place. Next morning, same house is on the home snap again. And this time there's a link at the bottom of it that takes you to a YouTube video that's a drone that goes all over the whole back of the property, like all through the trails and stuff. And it was like 2 acres. And so I jumped on it after that. I moved into the house and first weekend in April of 2021. And then this what started on Mother's Day of 2021. I planted a willow tree with their ashes. And shortly after that, I had the idea for the farm. Shady Frase was her, like, she's got an Instagram, Shady Frase still. And so that was her little nickname, and social media handle and stuff. So that's why I called it that. And it's our last name. So Shady Frase Farm. That's why I called it that for her. And that's when it started. And I will say this about the willow tree. Like something supernatural happened when I planted the willow tree with their ashes, for sure. Like a lot of people, have come up to me and said they felt her presence. I mean, I've had people tell me that they talked to her. So, I can't call it. I know I've felt and seen things out here as well. But if someone, I had someone tell me that was pretty close to me that if someone, is brave enough to come up to me and tell me that, like, I probably should believe them.
Yeah,
And
it takes a lot.
especially after enough time. So that's definitely been one aspect of it. There's been a lot of supernatural things that have happened out here.
Yeah, man,
And
that's
so
awesome.
anyway,
That's really cool.
so So yeah, that was the beginning of it. So it really began in about June, July range of that 2021. And then we, like I said, my friend came over. We decided we were going to do this event, right? So um, we had 21 days until this first event, and it was me, my son, my neighbor, my neighbor's son Deshaun, who became like a second son to me, and a friend of mine from work who was actually the first one to ever get sober here. He came over here, bad alcoholic, and he got sober in the time we were building the farm. We went through withdrawal, everything. I was just sweating it out. And so the four of us, we had a night over here. We consumed couple of different types of plant medicines, sat around the campfire, and we decided we was on a mission from God to make the farm as beautiful as possible before this first event. And we went insane on it. I was on FMLA from work, and we just went in. We built the fence from posts from trees. I mean, we did it all by hand. That next morning after that campfire night, we got the first two animals, two potbelly pigs, Stitch and Princess, sisters. And then I got a male pig, Kevin Bacon, couple goats, and so that was kind of the beginning of all of it. I had ducks at one time as well, so that's where it started.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really, really awesome.
And then I
So,
started growing as soon as I moved in as well. I had my cultivation license and
yeah.
started growing as soon as moved in as well.
So, what
So
was your first event? What was the first event at the farm?
what's that?
What was the first event at the farm?
Oh, the first event, we just called it like a blast off. We just called it
Yeah.
like a blast off, and we had some different cannabis vendors and stuff. And then, I mean, I had a lot of events over the years and a lot of different kinds of them too. Just really from almost every walk of life you could think of, as far as opposite things. So that part was pretty cool to me.
Do you have one that stands out?
Mm, that's a tough one. I did one memorial event for my sister that was really good. Um, that one was important to me. And then all of them were so awesome. We just had a couple. We had one where okay, this is a funny one. We had one where we had a band. Okay, if you've been in the farm, I'm right on the block. Like I'm in the neighborhood. Like I'm
Yeah, right. In the
off of
50s.
55th and Swope Parkway. So I'm right in the neighborhood in the 50s. And we had a band back there for this one event. And they were like kind of a rock and roll band. They were some native band that were all a family, and their grandfather was the soundboard guy, right? And I'm talking about they're blowing the block out. They're blowing the entire block out. Like I'm on level 10. Like I'm just walking outside, like just waiting for the man to show up, like any
Just get
second
out.
now. Like, and my neighbor comes over and everything, and he's like, "Don't even worry about it." No. I was like, "No, it's blowing the entire area out. The drums is what it was. Were so crazy loud for some reason." So I talked to the grandfather, and he's like, "I can't turn it down any lower. We're just gonna have to shut it down and leave." He's like, "We're shutting it." He got a little upset. So I go and talk to the group, right? And I'm like, "Look, is there anything we can do? Like, I'll give the drummer some products. He can just go relax and watch without him." And they ended up doing it. The drummer played with his hands, and it was freaking
Wow,
awesome.
that's
And
cool.
everybody loved it. So that was a memorable one. That was a cool one, and a lot of people came to that one. So, and then I've had holistic ones. One of the important ones I think I had was at the very, very beginning. I had somewhat of what you may consider like a psychic fair, arena. And I mean, these ladies came and just did some really amazing things out here. And we
That's
did
awesome.
some stuff as far as, burying some things and protection. And, I believe there's a lot of different things that could be
Yeah.
possible. That's
Hey,
where
it's
I'm
all
at.
happening, or it wouldn't be a thing. Is my opinion on it. You know what I mean? It's all real to somebody. So I mean, it wouldn't be happening. It wouldn't be that much involved in it. It's another show. We could talk on that. It'll be 4 or 5 hours into here. So
Hey, I could talk about this 24/7.
Same.
You can
What
just
kind of
go and go and go.
what kind of a relationship did you have with your customers and the people who visit the farm? Do you often share this story with people about Stephanie?
Everybody. So, um, as far as I mean, I wouldn't necessarily consider customers, um, but like the events, I would always speak about her, at every single event that was ever here. And then I did actually, believe it or not, I had an Airbnb going in the 50s back there on the farm. I had a,
Nice.
yeah, I had a yurt back there, with
That's
bed
so
and
cool.
dresser
Yeah.
and all, and people would be back there with the pigs and stuff. And I mean,
Happy.
I had people, I had people from all over the country stay, and
That's
I
cool.
told all of them the story, every single one of them.
Hmm.
And
That's what's up. That's why we
I
do
was a
this, you
damn
know.
I was a damn Jeff the farmer. I was a damn super host on Airbnb, believe it or not, for a little while there. So that, yeah. So I tell everybody. I mean, I don't know. I think I was telling Michael this, like when people die from suicide or addiction or overdose, or addiction, really long process, short, regardless. Like people just don't really talk about them anymore, especially family and stuff, because it's too painful. Like I get
Like
it. I completely get it. It's just too painful. And
like what
so
you said with your parents earlier, so many people's belief systems don't fall in line with kindness and love or whatever it's supposed to be about, and I think sometimes those feelings of shame even, and that's one of the things that pissed me off with my brother's death, was that people wanted to talk like they were ashamed of it. And I don't know, it pissed me off. I guess that, but I understand
Yep.
that. You know what I mean? My family, there were some certain members in my family. I don't want to hear anything about hell or anything else. Whenever I just lost my best friend, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yep,
Um,
absolutely. Like the misunderstanding part is hard. That's really, really hard, especially when it's your family, and that's just this life.
That
I
got
think.
really dark.
Well,
If
I think that's
someone
one of.
wanted
We go dark. I like going dark and light. We got
No, no,
we
that's
got
all part of
bipolar
it.
farms here with us. We're going dark and light, back and forth.
Yeah, it's the yeah. We're lighting
Hey,
it up though.
let's lighten it up a little bit.
All right, let's do it.
If someone wanted to start their own urban farm or home grow, what is a critical piece of advice you'd give them?
Oh man. Okay, this is a good one. This is a good one actually, because before that morning that I got those first two pigs, I straight jumped off the cliff. I had never had an animal before. I did not really have any idea what I was doing, whatsoever. Whatsoever. When I started growing, I had no idea what I was doing whatsoever. But for me, I guess I'm just that type of person. Like I just like to do stuff and learn as I keep effing up, I guess would be the best way to say that. This is how I like to do it. But I would say it doesn't take long anymore. That's the thing. Do a little research, like maybe a week even, you know what I mean, before you go in on it. And, on the growing part, I mean, it's so easy to get your cultivation license and all that anymore. So, do that just so, even in Missouri, just so you're cool.
My,
Um,
I was going to say, I don't think they even turn people down for the home cultivation license unless there's some kind of legal reason. You know what I mean?
yeah,
If you apply
exactly.
for it, they just give it to you. I think it's a pretty
Exactly.
much no brainer.
Exactly. And, and then on the pigs, I was going to say this. The reason I think I got the pigs to begin with, and maybe the idea of the farm, I told my sister she would do some wild shit with this paranoid schizophrenia. And one Thanksgiving dinner at my parents' house, she showed up with a potbelly pig and a baby stroller.
Yeah.
It was freaking great. So that was where I think I had the idea. But anyway, with I mean, I would say for sure have your space ready. That's one thing. Have your space ready. That's one thing I did do, and I'm proud of myself on that. Like we really had a good foundation set for the animals to be in. So that's a really important one. Really important one on that.
Sure. Yeah.
And I would say, like as far as the crops and stuff like that, um, I haven't had a lot of luck. So I've tried on the crops a few times. I don't know if it's because I'm right here in the city or what, but I need to do some more research on that and probably, get the soil tested and that kind of stuff. But I've grown some stuff. I did the raised bed. Raised beds is a great one. If we're talking about advice on a farm, raised beds is a really good thing to use for sure. That's what I've had the best luck with.
Nice.
All right, I guess it's my turn. What has been the biggest surprise or lesson you've learned since becoming a business owner in the cannabis space?
Oh man, that's a tough one. Shoot, stay up to date on your
If
taxes for
Elizabeth
sure.
is asking questions that are too hard, then you can just skip it. I know she's a little bit over the top with her questions, so I get it. It's okay. It's okay.
No, we all know
Let's have
you.
those intellectual questions.
We all know who wrote them. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'd say, get like I got my LLC right away early on. So I'd say just that's a big one. Figure out what
Yep.
type of exactly LLC you want to do and do that right away. And the thing that once you get that, you can always make adjustments with it and stuff along the way.
And
So
I
that's
know
a
about
big one.
I know about Missouri. If you're intimidated about setting up an LLC, don't be. It's super
Mm-mm.
simple.
It's
It's
so
it's
easy.
it's very very easy. If
Yeah.
you're intimidated by that, if that's the step that you're missing or stopping you from doing it, I'd encourage anybody watching just do it.
And the state
Yeah.
just wants their money. They just want their
Yeah,
application fee, and it's cheap.
yeah.
So don't worry
And I think
about
this is
it.
what
Go do
Jeff
it.
was saying too. Make sure you pay your taxes. That's what I tell people
And
all the time.
you know, and if you're gonna do anything like, I didn't do a lot of it, but I had, some merchandise and hats and shirts and, just different stuff like that. It's just good to have your LLC. So, no one tries to steal your shit.
Yeah,
And
how mad would you
excuse
be?
my language, but to put it simply.
Hey, brother, what kind of positive impact do you hope that Shady Frase Farms has on the local Kansas City community?
Oh man, this is a good one.
It is a good one. That's why I asked it. I'm amazing interview
Man.
skills. It's
He's a
happening right
master.
here, right now.
Why it didn't
It's
come from
happening.
me?
Yeah, Elizabeth don't ask questions like that.
We love you, Elizabeth. All right, no, so this is though, I'm glad this is leading to a really good one. So, like from the very beginning of the farm and me telling the story, like people dealing with this stuff just started showing up. Like they just started showing up. And I think I said at the normal speech, I had people come to the farm that were going to, commit suicide that day and came to the farm instead, and they're still here. And, just through the ripple effect of the farm, I had people stay in the home with me in recovery situations. Just so many people that were dealt with. I consider the farm its own entity, but so many people that were dealt with through myself and the farm together. I could. There's definitely a list of people that would say the farm saved their life. I would say that. Like there's a list of people that would absolutely say at that time the farm saved their life, and so that's just so important to me. And the one thing I'm probably the most proud of is in 3.5 years of just doing this completely, like the whole time working with at least one people personally or more sometimes, and just through social media and everything, in the 3.5 years of the farm, like we never lost one person to suicide or overdose,
Man, that's a
not one
beautiful
person
story.
in that whole
That's awesome.
time. And like, that's what I'm the most proud of. And I'm not a psychiatrist, like I'm not a mental health counselor, like I'm none of these things. Like when we first started it, we called it street therapy. And I just treat people like the best versions of themselves until they give me a reason not to. And we use cannabis and shrooms have helped me through some of the deepest depressions that I've had, for sure. So I don't have a problem with plant medicine as the bottom line, and I think it can save people's lives. And that's the mindset I went into all this with. And my sister is the other part.
That's
That
awesome, man.
so that's absolutely that, man. That's a great question.
So,
I,
so tell me,
Elizabeth's next one's going to be great. I know it. I know it.
So tell me this: what's new? Do you have any projects? What's coming up? What's going on at the farm now? What do we got to look forward to coming up?
All right. So yeah, about a year and a half range ago, um, I would just call it a series of unfortunate events, some signs from my sister. Some things happened around the neighborhood that happened in the 50s sometimes. And I just had got to a point where I knew that I needed to get out of here. And so I actually got, and this how serious and cool it goes. I actually got the animals to some different farms around the area that I still had at that time, some good farms around the area. And I took my last pig I had left and I went to Colorado. I have some land out there in Southwest Colorado. And I ended up staying out there for about 6 months. And actually, it's a little closer to a year. But long story short, I had somebody renting the farm, and I just missed my kids too much, and just some different things, and so felt like I had been away long enough, really, and ended up coming back to Kansas City in April, just this last April, and so I'll be honest with like I was done. I was not no longer going to continue doing these things. I just been through some things, and I you know how it gets sometimes. Like I was absolutely done. I
Yeah.
wasn't planning on getting any more animals. I was not planning on talking about my sister. I wasn't planning on doing any of this shit anymore. Working with people, I just was done. I was gonna build the farm back up for my sister and have it for myself and her and my kids, and that was it. Um, and then some, and then like, well, I want to say one thing. Is anybody else like thankful that there's something out there, God, whatever you want to call it, that like understands that we don't know what we're doing down here sometimes? I'm very thankful for that. But I was just shown some supernatural signs, and one day I just had a guy reach out to me on Facebook, and his name was J Rod TNT, and he sent me a friend request, and I just felt that kind of poke in my back that I've come to know as my sister, and I reached out to him, and I think it took like somebody new coming out here. He's part of a up and coming rap group actually in Kansas City. That's awesome. TNT, KLP is their name. LKP is their names. And anyway, he came
Is
out
that
to the
him in the
farm.
picture there?
No, okay, great. Hey, this is perfect though. I'm glad you put this up. So here's the original four of us that did the farm. All right,
Okay.
that's my son. That's my son there on the left, holding the
Okay.
smallest pig, and then that's me with Princess, and that's my friend Austin with Lily. Guess is standing in front of Lily, and then that's Deshaun. It became like a second son to me with Stitch. So yeah, that's the original four of us that built it together. And so yeah, he and another member of the group came out, and I think it just took me kind of walking around the farm and talking about my sister again and telling the story. And um, anyway, they ended up coming back to like shoot some little video stuff the next night actually, and like some supernatural I have a fire pit, and like some like tornadoes started coming up out of the fire and stuff. We had kind of dedicated the night to my sister and one of their other members. His little brother died on the same or had the same birthday as my sister, so they had the same birthday. So we kind of dedicated it to them, and just some supernatural things happened that night. And I just got a fire lit under my ass again, and I understood that it just wasn't time to stop talking about these things. And then as soon as I made that decision, it was just I just started following the signs, and things just started. When that happens, like things start happening quick. And so I'm just getting back into everything again now. Is really where I'm at. So I'm
Um,
looking at this point. I'm looking to just kind of see where the logo and brand for the farm goes. I just kind of want to rebrand it, and my ultimate, end game would be having the farm be a legacy and something, my sister's kids and grandkids, could be okay off of.
um, before we get to the next question, which I'm
Mhm.
sure Elizabeth wants to ask, and it's very important, we have a caller that wants to participate in the show. We got a caller. A caller, are you there? Getting our microbusiness license was amazing paperwork
Caller?
and regulations. I honestly
her?
thought we'd get lost. Then we found Canna Law Group.
Can you hear me now?
They guided us through every can't hear the single caller? step, and
I
now
cannot.
we're a legitimate operating Okay. business.
I hear an ad. There we go.
Okay. All right. All right, let me play that. Caller, are you still there? Let's try again. Caller, are you still there? We couldn't have done it without them. That's my honest testimony.
Who is it?
Thank you so much for that random caller person whom I don't know. I hope the audience could hear that, because that was truly a gem. Elizabeth, did you have something that you wanted? You look like you're on the edge of your seat, like you're just waiting to contribute to this conversation.
Okay, so I'm gonna totally wing it because it's not there anymore.
All right.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
As we wrap up, what message do you have for our listeners about family and positive message for everybody?
Good job.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Good job.
That's the best question of the night, right there.
Thank you.
I knew it would come
100%.
from her. Yeah.
Yep, that's the best question of the night. What I would say is this, and I try to not get emotional. I get to this part because I don't know. I just feel like it's really true. Like, we're just, concerned and worried about, so many different worldly things. And, my message would just be, I said it at the end of the other speech. If you're still here, we're all still here. Obviously, we're still breathing. But, as long as you're still alive, you're still breathing, you're still trying to put something good and positive out into this world, that you're a success in this life. Like, to me, that is the absolute epitome of success. And just forget the rest. Just the fact that you're still alive, still breathing, you're still trying to do, put something good out there. Like, that is the absolute epitome of success to me. And I say, forget the rest and let it come as it does, because it's not important.
Yeah.
Well
It's gonna
said.
come anywhere, right? Yeah, absolutely.
I did want to throw this up. Did you want to speak to this, Jeff?
Okay, yeah, that's kind of an older one.
Oh, is
And
it? Okay.
actually, yep, I did. I had recovery meetings for a while,
Oh,
so
you're not
that
doing
was
that
just
now? Okay.
no, I haven't. And actually, I'm glad you actually said something about it earlier. I actually went to the Cali Sober is awesome. I'm gonna say it
Yes.
like that.
Yes.
Not that my recovery meetings weren't awesome, because I did, I have people come and say they did love it and everything, but I was trying to do what Cali Sober is doing, just with nowhere near or any organization, basically, just
Sure.
winging a little bit more. But they're awesome. Like, I really, really like them a lot. The book is amazing. I mean, I come to this earth to work. I don't really like to stay here more than that. So I really try to live like an esoteric life more. And their book is awesome. Like, it talks about different, frequencies that, can help you. And it's a lot of really deep, good stuff, in my opinion.
Right on.
Yeah, for sure.
We are right at the 1 hour mark of the show, where we are now entering the pants optional portion of the show, where we kind of get away from the regular programming and just kind of wing it here. So now we're just like people having a conversation. So
You forgot your pants again.
I forgot my
Nice.
pants.
Nice. That was awesome.
I like to
Good
start things off with a joke.
All good questions.
Oh,
there we go.
Yeah, I'll go first.
All right.
I'm unprepared.
So this Eskimo is driving his snowmobile across the frozen tundra, right? And all of a sudden it just kind of poops out on him. And he's got to walk all the way back home and get his dogs. He tings his dogs out there, hooks it up to the snowmobile, pulls the snowmobile into town to the mechanic and brings it to the mechanic. And the mechanic says, it's going to take me a minute to figure this out. Why don't you go in town and do something? So the Eskimo goes down the street, of course, and he goes into the Baskin Robbins or some ice cream place, non-specific to Baskin Robbins. If you don't pay me, you don't get mentioned on my show. And has a nice ice cream, right? So he gets done with his ice cream. He goes back to the mechanic and he's like, asks the mechanic, he says, hey, what's going on? And the mechanic says, well, it looks like you blew a seal. And the guy says, no, that's just ice cream in my beard.
Oh my god.
It's nice. Nice one.
Wow. Yep. There it is.
Your
Monica,
turn, Elizabeth.
My turn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I have the
you're
little
next.
cheesy ones.
Okay, all right, yeah, we're ready for that.
Okay.
Mom jokes, here we go.
Here we go. Why could you not hear the pterodactyl go to the bathroom? Because the P is silent. That's my mom joke of the day. You're welcome.
I love that one. That one is a classic. I love that one.
I got him on it the first time
I
I
was
told
like,
it.
what are you
He's like,
talking
"What?"
about? I was like, yeah, I was right in the middle of something like changing a wheel bearing or something.
He's like, really?
I'm like, what? What's happening?
I love it.
I'll tell my mom's favorite joke.
Okay, all right.
This is
we're
my
ready
mom's
for
favorite
it.
joke.
We're ready.
What do you call a boomerang that doesn't come back?
What's
A
that?
stick. That's her favorite one.
What do you call a guy with no arms and no legs in the pool? Bob. What do you call a guy with no arms and no legs on the floor?
What's
Matt. Matt.
that? Okay.
What do you call a guy with no arms and no legs in the bushes? Russell.
Russell. Okay.
That was some good ones.
What do you call a guy with no arms and no legs at the museum?
Hmm.
Art.
Art. Famous books never written. 40 Yards to the Shit House by Willie Make It.
So all the elephants are like walking out of the jungle, right? And Tarzan points at all the jungles and they're like, hey, look at all the elephants. They're walking out of the jungle. Later, Tarzan.
That's funny in itself right there.
Later, Tarzan sees all these elephants are walking across a bridge. He points at the elephants and he's like, hey, look at all the elephants. They're walking across a bridge. And then later, much later, all the elephants are wearing sunglasses, right? And guess what Tarzan said?
What did he say?
He didn't say anything. He didn't recognize them. They were wearing sunglasses. Jeff is not amused. Jeff is like, it seems like he's wasting his time here now.
No, that's a good one.
Yeah.
You didn't be the co-host for that line right there. There it was. What did the Tarzan say?
Right? Yeah, if I would have had a good co-host, they would have totally fell for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
No, I
Needed
felt
the
obligated to help you knock that one out of the park.
Lisa
Yeah.
says, I laughed too hard for that. I think she thinks I was faking it.
Lisa definitely
I
wins
think it
the
was just
prize.
the right amount of spin on it.
Lisa wins the prize for interaction.
For sure.
Yes.
Lisa's
She's
great.
the-
It is great.
She is great. Lisa shows up a lot of events that we go to. Like she's normally at like the Can of Vibes and stuff like that. Well, not
Very
normally.
supportive.
Very supportive. Buys our gear. She's wonderful. She's in it for the right reasons. Got a good cause, mental health supporter for sure. Sure.
Sure
So
is.
at mine, you were a big inspiration to me, Farmer. Actually, like the first time, my first event, you were there. My first cannabis event. We were at Andy's thing.
Sugarhead Christmas party.
Yes, that. And you, and I knew your girlfriend at the time, I believe. I think she
Yeah.
had did trend for me. So we kind of had a hey, how you doing kind of moment. And but you were a lot
Yeah.
of inspiration to me
Think-
actually. Like I was filling things out, and I heard your story and stuff, and man, I was like borderline envious. I was like, that's what I want to do. I was like, I want to do that. Like that's my same purpose. You tell me your story. My story's with my brother, and it's a little different, but it's the same path. I think we're brought
Absolutely.
together and to find people on the same path. You know what I mean? Like we're all headed in the same
Absolutely.
direction, and we had a lot of that going. And man, I talked to you like an old friend the first time I met you. I felt like that old soul connection. If you want to, no homo.
Yeah, no, and then that one in Southwest Missouri, I think, which that's
Mhm.
the one I spoke at. That was the last event I had my pig Toby at with me. This pig would go to all the events, and this pig was like a son to me. He really was, and he passed away when I finally got back to the farm. We took him to Colorado and everything. So anyway, that was an important event to me for sure, man, a memorable one. So yeah,
Yeah, we
man, it
both
was.
Toby, and yeah. So
I'm appreciate like anytime I can talk about it, I freaking appreciate it. Like I'll talk
yeah.
about it anytime, anywhere, you know, and that's where I'm at now. That this is what I'll do for the rest of my life.
I
And
think
I
all
was
three of us in common are men who don't fold. We pivot. We find another way. We all had been trying to been canceled or this or that or the other. Been up a lot of obstacles and stuff. But we have a passion and we have a purpose in doing this. So like you said it earlier, like this isn't an option for me anymore. This is a choice. This is a lifestyle. There was a point in this I said, this is what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life, regardless. I'm not gonna take
yeah,
no for an answer. I'm not gonna change course. And because coming out even in the cannabis world for me, Matt, like almost like coming out with your sexuality or something like that, because there was people in my family who disowned me for the cannabis lifestyle, the cannabis, embracing cannabis the way I have and stuff. So I've lost some family members over it, and I guess if that's their choice, it wasn't my choice. This is what I'm going to do. You know what I mean? I had to get to
yeah,
that point where like, if you got to go, you got to
absolutely,
go.
man. Yeah, same. And I was, I feel like I was, lucky enough to not actually, lose people like you for sure, but definitely just, completely looked, I guess, down upon in a way or whatever you want to call it. But
Whatever
yeah,
it
I
is.
mean, yeah, that's definitely, but it's, once you know what it does for you, there's no going back.
I think
Like
there's going
once
to
you
be a
know
lot of
what it does for you, there's no going back on it, in my opinion.
there's no yeah. That's what I'm saying. I heard you kind of say that earlier, and I had thought about my moment like that too, where I was just like, I looked at her and I said, I'm not gonna not do anything else. This is my mission. This is my cause. This is my cross to bear. Uh, and that's
Yeah,
what I'm going to do. So
yeah,
yeah,
and I mean, yeah, and to me, the cannabis just it goes like I don't know that I've really met somebody with a really, bad addiction problem that it wouldn't help in some type of way.
yeah.
It's just what it is.
Well, look at all the studies that.
It's so much experience on it in real life. Like I said,
Well,
I'm not a counselor, but so much experience on it in real life and seeing what actually happens.
I don't
So
think they would fight
no
back
doubt in my
against
mind.
this hard if it wasn't going to work. You know what I mean? You don't fight back against things that don't work. So that's why all the pushback and the propaganda and all that you deal with in
Yep.
this industry. And I think there's going to be a lot of people 100 years from now that wish their grandpas were in our position where we started in a new industry. The T-shirt industry's been around. People have been making shirts for a long time. The cannabis industry, well, how many states still have prohibition? 4 or 5? I don't know what the number is. So there's still states out there full prohibition and stuff. This industry is brand new. You know,
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
and it's good to see it embracing mental health. And you look at how much alcohol has declined and stuff. It's a staggering number, man. We are making a difference. The cannabis industry is making a difference in the alcohol sales. Like,
Yeah, and I mean, there's just so many different things too, as far as, you know, being on the RSO regimen. I mean, the or FICO. It's just I feel like all these things just can really just help you stay healthy, all the time. And I mean, I tell you, I'm doing like I do a lot of different things as far as, on the nutrition and all that, but like the cannabis, it could be such a huge thing if you just treat it like medicine.
Mhm.
Um, yeah,
Well, until a couple hundred years ago, it was the basis of so much medicine. You know what I mean? So much medicine, really.
yeah.
Victoria says that cannabis reform needs to evolve more and needs to happen in Kansas. I agree, but I don't think it's going to happen in Kansas until they federally legalize it.
I don't either. I have a
I'm
friend,
not.
Jim Fritz. He was a senator in no House of or House of Representatives in Colorado. He has a cool bunch of videos out there. He ran on $1,300. We'd all probably be smoking brick weed still if Jim hadn't done a lot of the things he'd done. But he's a member on my page. He's really active in it. He's doing a thing now called
Can he get me some brickweed? Can
he
you put me in
might.
touch with him?
He's like 80 years old. He's an older dude. And he might have some. He in one of his sample jars. But he's doing a thing I should have done it in Puerto Rico though. But I told him, I asked him, I said, "What's the deal in Kansas? Is there something we can go or is protest the Capitol and do stuff like that?" And he said, "Man, they are so reserved and so far behind." He said it would be the last holdout in the union. He said we'll be Kansas.
Lisa
Yeah,
has
I think
something
so
she
too.
needs to share. Check this out. FICO is the route that helped me. I believe it helped with my cancer, allowing me to graduate from hospice.
That's awesome, man. That's
Damn.
a story right there. Yeah.
Wow. That's an amazing comment to make, Lisa. I didn't know that you had gone through that. I'm
That's a
glad that you're
good
feeling better.
testimony. That's a
Yeah.
good testimony for it right there.
Yeah. Yeah. I love telling those kind of stories and these kind of stories. I like telling stories about people that are impacted by cannabis in positive and negative ways. I think that they're important stories to tell. I
Yeah.
can't wait till we get to the point where we can start talking more about the benefits of psilocybin
Yeah.
comfortably in society,
Yeah. Yeah. I
Same.
mean, I think once cannabis comes, I think it'll be a conversation that's had sooner than later. But the benefits there are just outstanding, and that has such a stereotype around it, and that's going to be an even harder stereotype to break. I feel like, but
I don't
I don't
think
know.
that if we're talking about psilocybin mushrooms, I don't think the potential for abuse is very high on psilocybin
No,
mushrooms.
no,
And I don't think that the health concerns like on overdoses either are much of a concern. It's kind of like weed, you know what I mean?
yeah,
It's I mean, when
right
you
now,
take it, you definitely can be in another place mentally and maybe you should have someone babysit you, Maybe this is not something if you're going to do a high dose, it's just not something you should do alone.
yeah,
You should have a trip sitter. But other than that, it's a relatively safe compound, and there's so many. As as a veteran, talking about PTSD and the benefits that it has on different negative things like that can help people.
Yeah,
We should be talking about it.
absolutely.
so
Absolutely.
I could do a microdose and go to the bar with her and her friends, have a fantastic evening, zero desire to drink. I just hit my 9 year sober date, Cali
Uh,
sober date.
Hey,
Yeah,
congratulations!
Congratulations, man.
Yeah,
yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. It was
Man,
last
yeah,
month.
brother.
So
congrats.
Yes, amazing.
3,300 some odd days now, 330 something days. But yeah,
Congratulations, man.
yeah,
But yeah, on the psilocybin, like that saved my ass. Like that saved my
Really?
ass a few
Tell us
times
about
along
that.
this journey. Um, just after what happened with my sister, just the depression bouts and different things that come with it. But yeah, I mean, I would microdose, macrodose a little bit that towards that range even sometimes. And I don't know, it just really helped me through like, sometimes you have a real hard time like letting out your emotions after something
Mm-hmm.
like that
Yep.
happens.
Yep.
And they did that for me. So that was one thing they really held me on. I kind of just forced it out. So I don't see anything whatsoever wrong with that. To me, what shrooms is therapy between you and God, which is
100%.
if you want to find God, look in the mirror and inside yourself as well as outside, and that's where it's at to me. But
You
yeah,
realize
that's
that
what I tell people is I said shrooms is therapy between you and God. So if
everything is nothing, and most of it doesn't matter anyway, and we're taking it way too seriously. and
Oh,
and
and,
just you laugh, and like yeah.
and as far as the addiction part of it, I started getting into like some different strains and what they do and stuff like that for a little bit there. And like there's strains that are so very similar to opiates, like very, very similar. And
yeah.
I
Yep,
mean,
that's true. Yep.
to me, good, good. Like, hell yeah, I'd do that instead of the, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, there's different strains that are very similar to different addictions. And I mean,
Well,
to
you're
me,
talking about
addiction
opiates.
transfer is excellent if it's to a plant medicine.
You
It's
know,
a huge number of success with
Lisa's
psilocybin to get clean, like off of opiates. A
Lisa's
huge.
just
Oh
freaking.
yeah, there's big studies on the alcoholism part too. Like one macro dose, under guidance or whatever, and people never drink again. Just
Hmm.
one macro dose, so it can rewire your stuff.
Lisa has had her 34 years of sobriety.
Congratulations!
Nice,
Hell
Uh,
yeah!
congrats.
yeah,
I
yeah,
Wow.
hit
it's amazing.
7 back. It was 7 for me back in May. May 1st is mine.
Ready for
So
that's a long stretch, man. The 7 year mark. I'll be honest with you. I cruised right through the first 7 years. I know that sounds crazy, but then like life kind of got almost complacent, and when life got kind of complacent, I was doing the same thing. Like everything was actually like okay or normal ish. That's when the urges really hit me. It was weird, and then
hmm,
that's how I know how come continued support is so important. Like I'll never have it mastered. I'll never. Um, 9 years into it, I can say that. I can say that I need to always work on it. I can, that that
oh yeah,
maintenance, that mental maintenance is always there. You always have to stay caught up with
Oh,
your bullshit, whatever it is mentally, and microdosing helps me with that more than anything I've
we
ever
gotta
found, bar none.
yeah,
we gotta
yeah.
totally shout out. We
That's
mentioned
actually a
the
good
Cali
question that's
Sober.
up there for that. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to
We
interrupt you.
That's okay. We mentioned the Cali Sober group earlier. We got to mention Josh White and Roster Rhino and those guys doing the marijuana maintenance program. They're also doing
Yeah,
the good work
Yeah, Josh is
that's for
awesome.
sure.
with the
That is
Cali
for sure.
Sober type recovery program. And
Yeah.
these are people that you can get involved with if you're going through any kind of addiction. Would love to work with you to try and help you get through that.
Yeah,
Amazing souls
Josh
over
is
there.
awesome for sure.
Yeah.
Me and him, he helped get a guy that stayed here for a while from Arizona. So that was it was a good experience. He did really well for a while, and that's that. But that's the thing about what we're in is not everybody makes it. That's for sure.
Well, and don't
So
they say too that most people that if finally recover from addiction, I guess if there is a recovery, you win. You don't consume until you die, I guess. For those people, a lot of those people, they had to try several times before they made it. You know what I mean? You might try to stop drinking or whatever your thing is, and then you have a weak moment and you're back on the party wagon again, and then you have another come to Jesus moment or whatever it is. That might happen several times before you get it right. Don't
yeah,
quit
I
trying.
I had
Never
that
stop.
every night. I mean,
Yeah.
there was years there where literally every night I was telling myself this was it. I was quitting the next morning. But man, when that feeling, when the anxiety and all those different things hit, we've all, well, a lot of us have been there. So yeah, I'm so very thankful to be here today, for sure, and feeling how I am and being here on with you guys.
Well, we're glad you're here too, brother.
I
I
think a
want
lot
to.
of people, a lot of empathic people also suffer from addiction because you feel everything. You feel other people's, you feel so much. and you just want to go numb, you know. So it's a thing that runs with that a lot too, I believe.
Yeah.
A lot of people, I want to touch on, a lot of people are talking about microdosing. I want to just touch on that. I think maybe a lot of people don't know what microdosing is, or they have an idea, or everybody thinks they know what it is. Here's what it is to me, what it means to me is if I'm going to take a microdose, I'm going to take an amount of psilocybin mushrooms that helps me coast through my day without being an angry bitch, but doesn't get me high. You know,
That
I don't want to feel the intoxicating effects. I want to be able to I want to be able to safely drive and do my other stuff, but I don't want to be the kind of Dave that nobody wants to be around. And that's, for me, that's a tenth of a gram. I can't even feel that amount, you know? So,
oh yeah, that's a small microdose in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like a microdose for me is 8 tenths.
okay. All right.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm feeling the happy euphoria, um, that kind of feeling, sort of what is expected out of a antidepressant, I think. And I
Yeah, I'd
don't
say
do.
for me between point 0.3 and 1, depending on what they are and
Maybe I'm
stuff.
going. Maybe I'm going a little heavy. I don't know. You know.
I mean, me too, maybe, but I don't know. Like point 0.3, I'd say for me is what you're describing.
I'm also like
Just
300
getting
What?
through your
pounds.
day, coasting, and then up to that 1 range. It's a little bit, it's more, you're a little different than being high, and maybe, yeah,
When
like,
I start to get in like 3/10 of a gram, I could start to feel it a little bit. I don't want to feel the effect. For me, I
No,
don't want
like
to feel the
really.
effects. I don't want to feel
So
it
I,
at all.
I guess yeah. That's
yeah, I do. It helps me to feel something for sure. I don't
yeah.
like that helps me for sure throughout the day, even through work and everything. So,
And sometimes I have to double down. And sometimes I'll take a micro dose, not because I'm being a cranky bitch, but because I'm going to enter into a situation where I know it's going to be stressful. And I'm taking a dose in advance to kind of help me maintain my mellow throughout the day.
And I think that's what people expect that are going to happen when they go get a prescription of antidepressants or something like that. I think that's so many people's desired effect, and they just don't know what they're missing, and their that apprehensive feeling of trying it is strong. A lot of people
yeah,
are
there's definitely I do think there's quite a bit of a stigma around the psilocybin still,
For
especially with
sure.
the older generation. Like they ain't even hearing that. And
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not
I
really
get
sure
that.
why because it seems like
but
they did back in the day.
I think it could probably help a lot of end of life stuff too, man. Every time
oh man,
I'm lost and I need to find my way, I need to do some soul searching to find my next step, and I just can't find it. I've exhausted everything else. A good, nice, healthy dose will kind of help me cry and laugh and search my own soul to find my path. And usually,
yeah,
always the answer is always right there in front of you, and it's been there the whole time. You just need to sit down for a minute and let your brain reveal it to you.
yeah, the proverbial writer's block break.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yep, it'll ground and humble you, and it's just to me, it's a good feeling. It's a everything's been let out feeling. Is the part about it that I like sometimes.
it's like a reset. You know, a good hero dose reset. You know, you like you said, all the answers are right there in front of you the whole time. You just get caught up in life and the busyness, and you just need to laugh and cry it out sometimes to see what's right in front of you. I think that's human nature.
Yeah, I was reading Jeremy's comment here, and I
yeah.
I did I did like point 0.3, and I tried it for a month, and I was doing it. I think I would take it for 3 days, and then not take it for 2 days, and then take it, for the last two, and it was some type of rotation I was on like that for 30 days. But honestly, like I feel like it helped a lot. I mean, it's just one of them things where you don't stay in the routine and stuff like anything else. And I just didn't keep doing it, but I feel like it really did help me a lot, concentrating for work and, just being more relaxed, everything, more
That's
energy,
fair.
more focus, clarity, all of it.
I had met a guy at MJ BizCon in Vegas last year that was big into psychedelics, and he was trying to tell me because I told him that I was a vet and that I'm taking SSRIs, and he was after me for a long time to try microdosing to get off the SSRIs, and I was like, man, I don't know. When I'm not taking my SSRIs, nobody wants to be around me, including me. I'm just terrible. I'm a complete a-hole, you know? Even I can't stand to be around me, and that's not even a joke. So eventually he talked me into it, and I got off my SSRIs, and this is how I did it. I took a tenth of a gram dose in the morning for about a week. And I was real nervous during this time. I was super nervous because the longer I was off my SSRIs, I was worried that, you know, I was going to start suffering some negative effects, or I was going to start being cranky again, you know, and I didn't want that to happen. So I was ready to go back on my SSRIs if I had to. And I just kept talking to the guy, and after about a week, I was like, dude, I'm starting to feel cranky. And he was like, just double down on that dosage. And at the end of the day, you know, start taking 0.2 of a gram every day. And if you start feeling cranky, just have another dose at the end of the day. And so I started doing that. And at the end of 2 weeks, I didn't even feel like I even needed to take any micro doses anymore regularly. Now I just take it as needed. But I totally got off my SSRIs. I haven't told the VA that yet because they don't like to hear that when you get off your SSRIs. They don't want to hear that mess. Especially if I tell them I got off of it from doing psilocybin. You know, they don't want to hear that.
Man, that's a great testimony. What an awesome testimony that is. Like, to me, that's huge. That's so huge that I got you off those, man. Seriously.
That's a lifesaver eventually, you know.
Yeah,
months.
man.
It's been 9 months since I got off my
Congratulations,
SSRIs.
dude. That's a big step, man. That's a big step of courage, dude. That takes a lot.
Yeah, man.
Well, because
big time. I agree. That's a huge one.
I asked the VA, I was like, how do I get off these SSRIs? I want to get off this shit. And they said, you're never getting off this. You're going to be taking these for the rest of your life. And I was like, I got to explore some other options. You know, I don't want to do this forever. And thank goodness I ran into this guy, you know, at MJ BizCon. He just went to prison for 4.5 to 6.5 years on the 19th for doing stuff he shouldn't have been doing. Psychedelic related.
That stinks, man. I hope one day we're talking about prohibition in that area and arena too, you know. And the movement started, you know, same places that set fire with cannabis, you know, the West Coast, Colorado, like I think it's decriminalized in Denver for usage, and I don't know what the laws are exactly, but I know there's been some decriminalization starting in certain points, and so
yeah, it's definitely starting, but it's just starting. I feel like pretty much here at least, but I think I agree in Colorado it's definitely further. But yeah, man,
20 years ago we were talking about cannabis just starting in the same spots. You know what I mean? Like Colorado, you know, 215 and stuff. Like 20 years ago, I guess. Wow, time goes by fast, isn't it?
You know, anything has the potential for abuse. I suppose people could abuse shrooms if they wanted to. I think that's stupid. There's a lot better recreational things you could do out there besides shrooms.
No, that's hilarious. That's freaking hilarious. I was just telling my son a story. I saw a YouTube video, and it was like a man teaching like a classroom of students, right, about this stuff. And he said he ate 30 grams. And he said that's where the real start. That's where the real start is. Well, that's teaching a class about this stuff. Yeah. So I don't think you can OD on it.
If you look at some of the other similar molecules,
I'm good on that. No thanks on that.
Yeah. I can't imagine. You know, like I think my big hero dose in life was probably 8 to 10 grams. You know what I mean? And it was uncomfortably.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's probably a few times. Checkerboard skies, you know, just a different whole set of things going on. 3.5. That's you know what I mean? I need 3.5 to really. That's my comfort zone for hero dose and right where I need to be.
3 to 5 is what I'm comfortable with, unless I get a babysitter, and I don't want a babysitter because I just cry too much. Nobody wants to sit through, you know, 8 hours of me crying.
No. No, and that leaves a lot of bad experiences for people too. Like I think there's people out there also that have that experience right there. There's somebody they just handed them, an unlimited amount or whatever, too much for an enjoyable time, and
Yeah,
they have that story to tell. It's kind of like your edible story. Everybody has one, I think. Too much edibles or something. Most people have an edible story. Like
yeah. Or if
For
you're
sure.
already in, if they're already intoxicated, drunk, or
yeah,
that's another one, and get awful sick and different things of that nature for sure. Which I've been there as well. So,
yeah.
it is what it is.
Laying in the grass
You know.
like that. I'm gonna
Mm,
be shaman. Yeah.
Thank God, Jeff, we're not on the alcohol anymore, right?
yeah,
Amen
so
to
very
that.
thankful. Yep. Y'all wouldn't even recognize me. It's hilarious. Like, my pictures from before I go drinking, like I don't feel like I don't feel like I even look like the same person. So it's my son says the same thing, but I had buzzed hair. I haven't cut my hair in like 4 years now. But yeah, I could not even explain to anyone out there how much better I feel. So if anybody needs going through the alcohol one, especially, I mean, I've dealt with all of them at this point. But if anybody's going through the alcohol one, especially, feel free to holler at me because I get it on that one for sure.
For sure.
You can reach out to him at Facebook on Shady Frase Farm. There's a farms also with a S on the end, but you're looking for Shady Frase Farm without the S.
Yeah, the other one is was the one I was using for the business part and stuff. So I'm kind of redoing some things with that. So yeah, the Shady Frase Farm's my main one, or Jeff the Farmer 7's fine. So yeah, feel free to holler and reach out. I work from home, so I'm on the computer and stuff all day anyway.
He'll send you a million emails.
I only sent. Oh, did you put them all up? Did we put all the pictures up?
Yeah, I threw them all up while you were talking.
Did you do the one of the four or the original animals?
I did, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Let me see if I can find it again. I'll throw it up again here.
I was just gonna tell everybody what each one was again. I think I said it when we were holding them. There's one where they're like in the barn, in a little barn thing.
Yep. I'm looking for it. Hold on, let me see.
So let's
Oh,
get
there it is.
together soon, and we'll grow you some good dirt for next year. We'll get you
Yeah,
some.
I definitely need
You probably
guidance and knowledge on the growing crops part because I want to get all the way self-sufficient even here.
you probably have a lot of the things necessary there to make some really rich soil. So we'll
Wait
just
till
have
you,
to.
man, you're gonna wait till you see it.
Yeah,
It's the same look in everybody's eyes when they walk through that gate. It's like mind blowing that it's actually back there. It's that part's awesome.
yeah. I definitely have some ideas and stuff I want to sit down and chew the fat with you on, and just kind of just talk about some things. My other friend that we made contact with and stuff, and just hopefully, we'll get
Yeah,
you some
man,
dirt for sure.
you absolutely gotta get out here, man. Whenever you're in the
That's
city again.
that's
I'm gonna
part of
be
the
up there
magic
Thursday, so maybe I'll see you then.
All right, yeah, just holler at me for sure.
that's
Like I
part of the
said, I work
magic
from
that
home.
happens on Syod the Weedcast is making connections. Happens a lot.
Yeah, Jeff and I have been
I
talking
want to
today. Something.
I want to invite you to come back, just like I invited Michael and Elizabeth to come back. Well, actually, they begged me to come back. It was
It was.
embarrassing. But whenever I
Absolutely.
have somebody as a guest on the show, I like to invite them to come back as a co-host. So if you'd like to come back and do another show with me as a co-host, Jeff,
You got to beg for
please
it.
consider that.
Start
I'm
sending
in.
those emails. If you want my advice on it, start sending those emails now. Maybe
Oh
follow
my
him to an
God.
event, hand him up at an event, be like,
Yeah,
"Hey,
know that he's going to be speaking and just show up.
when's that going to happen, man? When we talked about this?"
Mad love for you guys. Seriously, nobody else showed up,
Yeah.
except for my wife, and I made her come. But nobody else,
Did you
nobody else
though? Did
drove
you
from out
really
of
make
town to
it
come
come?
see. I
No,
did, unfortunately.
that was cool. That was a really, I feel like that was a good, audience and everything,
Yeah,
Sure,
for
yeah.
it
for
was.
us for sure. For what we were doing I was happy to do that as like, my first one kind of speaking again. So
Yep.
yeah, I thought it was a really good audience and everything.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't know you were
For
going to
for
be there,
sure.
and I was excited to see you. Like I saw you like right before you. I was like, "That's Jeff the farmer, right?" You're like, Farmer Jeff. I said Jeff the farmer.
Shady
You
Frase.
know,
Yeah, man, that's what I was
that's what
saying.
it
You were at the last event that I'd spoke
Yeah,
at. It
isn't
was like
that
a year
crazy?
and a half, or it was like a year and a half earlier. That was the last
Yeah.
time I had done it. You were there, and
That's
then you
wild.
were there again. So that was
I was like,
pretty
you
cool.
really inspired me. At my first event, you really inspired us all. Like I was like, that is what I'm talking about. Like that's the same purpose, goals. You help. I don't know if I ever told you that or not, but you really helped me set a goal. And I don't have a physical place in mind. It became more of an idea, but you really, really kind of encouraged me that I was on the right path. You were one of my signs along the way, being at my first event and seeing what you were doing and walking in there with that inspiration in my soul, not just my heart, but my soul. Um, I don't know. You really kind of let me know that it could be done. And I don't know if I ever told you that, so I'm gonna just get you right here live and tell you,
Man,
like
you did. Hey, no, that I freaking appreciate that, man, because I mean, this, I'm sure y'all know what I mean. Like this farm and everything that I did, like it saved my life and damn near killed me at the same time. You know what I mean? I mean, it really did. There's no better way I can explain it than that. It saved my life from what I was going through after my sister. It saved my life from that. And it damn near killed me at the same time. Some of the ones that went down. So I'm just thankful to get through it. I'm thankful for everything that happened and just everybody that was touched by my sister's story and everything. And I really freaking appreciate you saying that, man. I really do. But it's not like it's just not. I don't feel like it's really me. I definitely, like I said, understand that I'm part of it, but the farm really is its own entity. And I just kind of feel like that, whatever that is, works through me some and shows me signs. And I think it's a lot, I think it's my sister. So that's what I
You
do.
nailed it on the head. Just letting it work through you. Like if you're on the right path, if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, it'll just work through you. And that's what I do with the turkey drive. That's what I do with the things that I do. Is like it's not me doing it. I tell people I'm so fortunate to be the hub where it happens at because giving is such the only thing that really feels good. And I don't know if that's the right way to say it. Giving feels so good, and I'm so fortunate to be the transition point between people who want to give and actually where the chili meets the cheese. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
so, and I think
No,
all
I
of us have.
think, yeah, I think when you've been through these certain traumatic things, you really try to find things that make you feel any type of way. You know what I mean? And so the good, positive ones, you want to obviously go for that route. So,
For sure. And you see the need and it needs to be met, and somebody's got to do it, right? It's the workers. Said you're a worker. I got a servant's heart, I guess they used to say. But somebody's got to do it, right? Somebody's got to.
yeah, man, at the beginning of the farm, for sure, like I was just really, chasing something that could make me feel any type of that
Better.
good feeling in your chest again. And
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
it really did. And the thing I say as well, like this is something too, like the one thing, and you probably know exactly what I mean on this one. The one thing at the end of all of it, the end of the whole journey of this farm and all of it, all the people, everything that happened, all the times I told the story, everybody that knows about my sister now, like it didn't make me miss her any less at all. It didn't make me feel any better about any of it. It didn't at the end of it. And I know you understand what I'm saying on that. And it's just the way it is. And I've talked to people who have lost someone to suicide from 15 years old to 80, and they all say the same thing. It's just, it doesn't ever go away. And it's just what it is, and it's what we're dealing with. And so, and I'm okay with that now. That's the whole thing, is I'm okay with that now. And so we're
So,
going to continue the mission. We're going to continue the mission in a positive freaking way. And I'm going to get as much joy as I can out of this life until I leave this
absolutely.
realm. And that's what
Well,
my sister
I'm
would
gonna
want me to do.
I'm gonna have fun while I'm still living and breathing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm not waiting for you.
that's what my sister would want me to do. So that's what I'm gonna do. So
Guys,
We're all
we've gone.
survivors of suicide. Everybody in the country's lost somebody to suicide. We're all survivors of suicide in some way. Every family in America suffers from the loss of somebody from suicide. I think 1 in 6
Yeah.
people.
Guys, I'm trying to get everybody to stop the show.
oh,
Everybody in
let's
the
do it.
audience is saying, "Hey, we're all going to bed." I'm trying to
All
go to
right,
bed too, guys.
all right.
So
Well, it was
before
good
we
being
do
on.
that, I want to tell people how they can get in touch with you one last time, Jeff.
Shady Frase Farm on Facebook, and I got Jeff the Farmer 7 on Instagram. So either one of those, they're on Facebook too. You can get a hold of me on Pink Dot the Pig as well on Instagram. You can get a hold of me there as well, and I'll speak like myself, not like I'm Pink too. So
Okay, well, that's good. How about you guys, Michael and Elizabeth? You want people to be able to find you, or are you still trying to hide from the FBI?
Well, we're trying, but we're
Well,
gonna give up on that.
I guess you can find us at Bipolar Farms on Facebook and bipolar.farms on Instagram.
Right on. Yeah, if you want to find me, you can find me pretty easily. You can search for Mo High Tight here on YouTube where you're watching this video right now. Please click subscribe and notify if you haven't already. It really helps me out a lot. Also, join my Facebook group, Syod, the Weedcast, and especially, if you're depressed and you're thinking about suicide, especially if you're a veteran and you want to call somebody who's been there, you can call me and talk to me, 573-818-9985. Anytime, I'm happy to talk to you. So, hey, this was a great show. A lot of
Absolutely.
unexpected stuff.
I agree.
Good
That was
conversation
great.
happened. Yeah.
Excellent. I
Right on.
appreciate you guys. I felt, the questions were great. It was it's a lot easier answering questions than just speaking sometimes, for sure. So that was awesome.
Right on.
I just want to say I think
Thank you, all
Elizabeth
of you.
had the best questions.
She did. She was
I don't
really on point with the questions.
Yeah, it does. She had the best question out of all of them she had, which was the last one, I believe. So
Yeah. I think we need to have her on her own show.
Yeah, that's
So,
just what I was thinking too.
Me too.
yeah, right on. We need to let's do a collab and we'll make that happen, Elizabeth.
Okay.
I could be like
All
your
right.
sound guy with like prompts and stuff.
All right, everybody. Until next week, sleep tight and smoke some good weed.
Good night, everybody.
good night, everyone.